Today's video is brought to you by Brilliant. More on that later. Okay, I got good news and bad news. The bad news is we have a bunch of zombies outside of our door and reinforcements won't be in for at least, let's see, a week. Yeah. The good news is, let me see, I have a new video idea, so get to work. Chop chop. Yes, all of you, go. Yep, my idea, you make it. Zombies, no matter how played out that genre is, people will throw zombies into everything. And I do mean everything. Like a meat grinder, or your friend's house, or, let's see, your doctor's office. Yes, of course, of course. Rimworld is no different, and for the Halloween season, I thought, why not talk about a bunch of zombie-themed mods? Ooh, yes. Starting off, we are going to need a way to deal with the undead plague. Of course. Sure, most people will go for the boomstick, but I got a more natural solution. Plants vs. Rimworld. Yes, a throwback to all of our childhoods. One of the greatest games ever made. This is our solution dealing with the horde. Obviously based on the Plants vs. Zombies set of games, you now have the ability to plant your own defenses for your base. Yes, granted, we are a bit limited in what we got. That being mostly pea plants and explosives, but hey, I love me those little pea plants. To actually make the plants, you need the sunlight material. How do you get that material? From the sun.
Power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
No, I'm joking. First, you take some plant products to the butcher table, let your colonists use their secrets of the universe, and boom. So, I guess they don't necessarily poop out what you need, but I guess we're butchering sunflowers now. From there, you just use the materials to make sunflowers. From there, make more plants. And you are going to need a lot, since the plants don't last forever. And we're probably going to have to do a Plants vs. Zombies stream on Halloween now, because it just sounds so redonkulously fun. While this mod is limited in scope, I see a lot of potential in this one. What with the many different plants and how it's a fun way to get defenses. It's actually more than fun, it's brilliant. Could see even an ideology based on using plant-based defenses as opposed to machine ones. Hopefully the dev can continue and make this mod even more awesome than it already is. We will keep an eye on it. Yes, dev, we are keeping an eye on you.
You are creepy as shit.
Alright, I know what you came to see. The classic of the zombie mods. The one and only Zombie Lab. This is the big one that delivers the zombie survival feeling in Rimworld. In the beginning, it starts off slow. A few zombies here or there, but eventually it will become a whole horde that your colonists, and for some people, their PCs, can't handle. Real talk, this mod is classic for a reason, delivering a well-made mod that gives you a lot of options. For example, do you want zombies to be less durable, easy to kill, but with more numbers? Perhaps you want the horde sizes to be much bigger and more aggressive. Got that? Heck, even make them go after anything living. Reduce your resources like animals and allies. And of course, make survival meals Twinkies, cause it's the little things in life that can keep you going.
Gotta enjoy the little things.
So, mechanics. There is the obvious zombie plague. After all in all, zombie media, if you get bitten, you are gonna become one of them. In this mod, you have options ranging from if you can treat the plague with normal medicine, or do you need to collect zombie samples to create proper serum, which means sending interns out to collect dead bodies. Oh, Bren, you've been bit. Here, Bo, go chop his arm off. What do you mean you can only write half a video now? Get back to work. Oh, he turned into a zombie, run away! There is contamination as a new mechanic, means that things will contaminate and infect via touch. That's why we're in a different room now. Bren's kind of out there. Oh my gosh. I recommend fire to get rid of them. Then, of course, there is how zombies spawn. You can do it in a way to only spawn on the edge and at night, giving you a chance during the day to clear out some of the horde and gather resources. Or perhaps you prefer all the time and have them be a constant growing threat. And of course, if you really, really hate yourself, let them spawn on any ground. I really don't recommend this if you aren't experienced. Heck, even I'm not good enough for that.
But what we are good enough for is learning new skills, which brings us to today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant is the best way to learn math, data science, and computer science interactively. Brilliant is fun and interactive with thousands of lessons from basics to advanced topics and new lessons added every month. Whatever your skill level, Brilliant customizes the content to fit your needs and lets you solve at your own pace. Data skills are important, especially for us strategy gamers, so why not stretch your brain muscles and try the data visualization course on Brilliant like I did? So what are you waiting for? Get started today for free for 30 days. And as an added bonus, the first 200 people to join will get 20% off an annual plan by visiting brilliant.org/Noobert.
Then there are the variety of zombies, the bread and butter. Living dead are like normal pawns, albeit with less brain function. Then again, with half the people I work with, sometimes it's hard to tell. We have bomber zombies with explosives on them that have a habit of bringing your walls down as if they were Reagan.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Tear it down. Reagan smash! Reagan smash!
Still great if you take them down away from your walls, as the detonation can bring a horde down to size. Toxic splashers are similar in how they do something bad when they die, meaning setting up toxic slime that when crossed causes a toxic buildup. Just stay away from them and you should be fine. Cleans up with some rain. The tanky operators are armored behemoths. Use them heavy stuff on them, cause if you don't, they can and will breach your walls in brute strength alone. Woo. The miners are some of the most obnoxious. They are like normal zombies, but with a hobby. That hobby being tunneling through rock and giving zombies a way in. Perhaps turn these guys off if you want to live in a mountain home. Dark puffers are nasty zombies that, while moving, can create a slime trail that slows down non-zombies. Also, dying causes them to let out a smoke screen like a coughing supergrass. Healers are jerks. If you aren't playing with easy-to-kill zombies, these ones will heal up any nearby zombies of their injuries. Wonder what zombie medical insurance is like now that I think about it. Albinos might be one of the worst to deal with. They are weak and easy to kill, but their speed can be a trouble, especially since they can mess with doors, opening them up and letting the horde in, on top of screaming like a brat to make your colonists stop and vomit. But the worst one for me has to be the electric zombies. They literally no-cell ranged attacks. That's right, if you want to bring them down, you have to go melee. The good news is they don't bite, but given they can also damage anything made of components, including shield belts and power armor, you got your work cut out for you if you see one of them. I think the best thing about this mod is how much it's being taken care of. Even now, it's getting updates and more stuff. It's certainly deserving of all the praise, especially when I want to make a huge bunker base and hold the line for as long as I can. Of course, if you play with that mod, try the Zombieland Storyteller, a simple one that increases the number of zombies out in the streets, but also reduces your raids and visitors. After all, the world has gone down in flames, you ain't getting help, least on the ground. Plenty of orbital traders coming into contact to try and help any holdouts. Of course, they're not gonna come land down here. There is also the Walking Dead music replacement mod. Obviously, we can't share any of that music due to copyright, but hey, in your game, it's perfect for that vibe of living out in the Wonderland. Now, if you want a little bit of undead in your game and not a full threat that will slowly overtake you, perhaps the simple skeleton continued mod is up your alley. The skeleton next to me is really uncomfortable, and I can't. Someone take it away. Thank you. Basically, it adds a full skeleton race, and as we all know, skeletons are basically zombies with flesh, though these ones usually aren't friendly, rising from their graves like some Genesis hero.
Rise from your grave.
Though mod options, you can decide how it's done, be it on Eclipse to be extra spooky, or maybe whenever the game feels like bringing out your dead. There are also options for what counts for a secure grave, like a stone sarcophagi is more secure than some ditch you threw a raider number 327 into. Yeet. But I know what you're thinking. This technically isn't a zombie mod. Well, gotcha. There is a retexture made to turn the skeletons into the rotting undead undead horde you desire, just run it with the mod and now you got zombies. A simple mod for a simple undead fun. Gotta love it. Ooh yeah. Also gotta love how cremating prevents the undead rising, so maybe rush cremation technology your next playthrough. Now we've mentioned this mod many times in the past, but I'd be a fool not to mention the always great Rimworld of Magic. Especially since this mod lets you live out your lich fantasy. That's right, you can go full necromancer, raising the undead slaves, or become a proper undead lord in the form of a lich.
Fall.
This mod is perfect for more villainous playthroughs if you want to be the undead threat to the world, or just are big fans of Overlord, which, hey, don't blame you for that one, it was a good show. We have a full video discussing more about Rimworld of Magic, but for the Necromancer and Lich line powers, you might have to go out of your way to find the right books and spell to just become a Necromancer. It's a lot of work. Then spending time mastering all the Necromancer's spells before being able to cast the Lich ritual. Also, be willing to lose a pawn's ability to do much beyond spell casting. It's just how it kinda works. So, for the most part, we talked about zombies of the magical undead variety. However, nature has shown that there is more than one way to make a zombie. Oh yes. Vanilla Expanded Fungoids represents the real-life zombie in nature, taking inspiration of the real fungus cordyceps. Normally, I'd make a joke about them being some fun guys, but real talk, cordyceps creep me out, especially after The Last of Us basically told everyone that zombies are real in nature and could potentially happen with the whole warming of the earth thing, you know? So how does Fungoids work? Well, they aren't really a starting xenotype, instead appearing more as a recurring threat, namely in the new Fungoids ship crash. From there, hostile Fungoids will attack your colonists in deadly melee. So now I hear you ask, how do you get Fungoids? Simply let your colonists get hit and don't heal them? Oh, Fungoids now have a new gene called Gene Infector. When they do melee damage, ouch! They do an infection damage to a target, and if that infection hits 100%, boom! New Fungoids. Before you ask, yes, you can move that gene to another pawn. Yes, you can put it on your cat girls. And yes, that means a plague race of cat girls who make more cat girls. We were talking about zombies, not even more scary thing, right? Other things these mushroom people are known for are their ability to link their minds. Mind coalescence. Give all other pawns with the same genre a mood buff, or debuff based on the 20% average mood of all the pawns on the map with this gene. Sounds great when you can keep all pawns with this gene happy. Not so great when one pawn has a mental break and suddenly every pawn linked gets the same one. Hilarious, but can see how that can end badly. Other factors include they have fungus like flesh, so if they eat mushrooms or they consider it cannibalism. Super ugly to those who are not of their species. Oh, and skill loss. Lots and lots of skill loss. While it varies from fungoid to fungoid, most will suffer from some kind of debilitation to their skills. Sometimes a major loss, no gain to their skills, losing skills even when below 10 skills, as opposed to only starting after the 10th rank. But hey, might get lucky and get the no skill loss gene, so that fungoid is a genius. Also, they get a small improved healing factor and naturally armor based on how long ago they were turned into a fungoid. Finally, beyond the chance of minor or total immunity to rot stink, they have telepathy, with one another removing the requirement for all social interaction needing to be next to each other, reaching out and touch someone indeed. So, is this a good race? No, it's not. But only if you plan to use them for colonists. Using them more as a hostile force against you. Yes, indeed, they are a scary minor threat that adds the danger of any Rimworld playthrough. And besides, even you don't use them for actual colonists, their genes do have some value in their pawn. It's kind of like having a cancer in the colony. You don't want it, you try to get rid of it, but it's there. Now, everybody has to remember the Modern Warfare 2 Call of Duty. It was one of the greatest games ever. Let me know if Modern Warfare 3 is cool in the comments down below. But anyways, Blackout Zombies is one of the coolest zombie fighting things that we've had ever, right, in the Call of Duty franchise. And before I start, fun fact, that zombie mode for World at War actually has inspired by the Flash game series, The Last Stand. Seriously, look it up. It's actually there. Anyways, how does this mod work? First, gotta research and make the workarounds bench to craft your weapons, because you can have these mods, these things in Rimworld. From there, you can stick with them or do the pack-a-punch research to further upgrade the weapons. Things like lower cooldown, more power, better range, and like can be done here. Yes, but guess what? The mod goes above and beyond than just some cool weapons. There's the Portcullis, but that one, when drunk, gives pawns a temporary buff, perfect for before a big fight or that zombie horde at your doorstep. And of course, if you want some randomized fun, check the mystery box for a random weapon or perk coal. Oh yeah. Altogether, this mod is perfect for any zombie playthrough for the feeling of the COD zombie game mode. And before you ask, yes, it does support combat extended if you want more survival in your survival mode. But now it's time for the finale. The best for last, I present the army of fetid corpses. And your colonist nightmares fuel for the foreseeable future. And I do mean it, this is quite horrifying. Pack in, it's gonna take a bit to explain it all. Your zombies are necroids, okay? A parasite species that infect living hosts to turn them into unwilling carriers. The good news is that if the infection is pretty easy to repel with a normal immune system, standard bed care and medicine tending can help. However, if you fail to deal with the problem or they are exposed too fast, well, now you got a big problem. So what necroids are there to deal with? Well, first, the mod is apparently gonna still be worked on, so it's possible this won't be a complete list in the future. But as of writing, we have a nice variety of opponents. The ghoul is your bog standard infected zombie, easy to deal with on your own, hard in greater numbers. Just stay away from them and you should be fine. Bladed ghouls are on an upgraded form with an obvious advantage. In melee combat, of course, if you can't see those knives, then you might not want to be in the colony. The brute, contrary to their name, actually have intelligence enough to wield their own twisted weapons, which we will go over a bit later. The soldier is a stronger ghoul with weapon skills. Fetid wolves are horrific canines who, on their own, can tear you apart. A pack can annihilate even the toughest pawn. Hag, spiders, run. Oh, just run. Ugh. If you see one on the map, stay inside and fire from afar, because they make thrombos look like rats. And finally, the bloated ogre, a big sack of flesh and infection, and killing it just has it explode out in more infection, just to spite you. Oh yes. And if they could only bite you to infect you, they would be bad news. But they have firearms, bone-shod weaponry that damages and infects victims, which is just actually more horrifying, if you ask me. Horrifying, just terrifying. However, there is hope for you and the colony. Fire. Yes, fire is one of the best weapons against them, and the mod provides a variety of incendiary weapons for your pawns to use. Not just that proper stalker power and armor that is fireproof, toxin-proof, and can I just say stylish? Other inclusions is the army rations and ration meal, necro meat skewers that let you use the meat of the dead as a food source. May or may not be a bad idea to eat meat of parasite monsters, but hey, you do you. XJ9 compound to act as a temporary buff in combat like Goju. Anti-Necron vaccines you can make for that one pawn who you want to save. We have mechanoids you can summon, a special artifact mech beacon that summons modified mechanoids. The Courier 6, the Gunslinger, and my favorite, the Centipede Sheriff. These mechs are awesomely designed, and I want to see more cowboy robots in my playthrough. Think we all want a bit of that in our life. What we don't want are ways for the necroids to get you, like the standard corrupted ship or horde events, which, as you guessed, are ways for the game to make sure you have a steady supply of freaks ringing your doorbell and not selling chocolates for their fundraisers. It's awful. But the worst event is the Necrocian Fallout Fallout event for this follow the wise words of Minecraft. Stay inside, don't be toddy, cause those outside will be subject to infection like a toxic fallout. For the final part, there is the new start, 7 days to die. You start off with 7 days to prepare for the worst, but are provided with custom weaponry only found in this start. So maybe just you will become king of Zombieland or end up like everyone else. This is a top tier mod of this year. Great design, great feel, and it's gonna be just get better. Yeah, check out Black Market 420's mod catalog, because this is one modder to keep an eye out for in the future. Yes, shout out on the Noobert channel. Hopefully this list was perfect for your Halloween playthrough. It's the best mods of October in my opinion, with some stuff not in October. Just glad I could provide a good list for you all to enjoy. If we missed any zombie mods, let us know. We know there are some good mods out there, but sadly haven't been ported to 1.4 or might not just be on the Steam Workshop, because you know the Nexus mods has some stuff now these days, like the Rim Flood mod or the Zombified mod. Yeah, or not those ones aren't on the Nexus. I don't know, I haven't checked for them, but you know what I'm talking about. They're cool mods. However, never know, maybe after this video they will get hit with a raise dead spell and work to spread their love to your colonists. I'd like to thank all the patrons that make videos like this possible. We quite literally could not do it without you, and I'd like to thank everybody that supported me after my surgery. All the help we got was wonderful. It was more than I ever could have imagined, and it means the world to me. And I hope you guys are enjoying these bigger videos. We're working harder on it, and it seems like the algorithm is actually rewarding us for doing it. So